Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Esoteric Atlanta. I'm hosting today. I know this will probably be on both of our channels because we have a I think, exciting show because this is something that we've been talking about a lot. But I text you, Catherine, yesterday or the day before. I was like, let's go into this in more detail because it's just such an awesome product, and I do think there's spirituality behind it as well. But before we get into the episode, I want to remind everybody watching. Now I'm going to share screen quickly. On Monday, on my video on Monday, if you missed it, I'll put that down in the description box. I'm doing a giveaway on my channel for one of the Renu28 Skincare forming system, this little skincare system I've been using. It's valued at $145. I'm doing this as a giveaway. The deadline is this upcoming Monday where I'm going to draw names. So if you go to the Monday's video, which again, that will be down in the description box below under show notes, watch Monday's video so you can get what you got to do to be entered into the giveaway, and then go from there. So, and I'm really excited about this because ASEA has changed my life in every way possible. It's helped my health, it's helped my finances big time. And so I am just really excited to talk more about this with Catherine today. So how you doing, Catherine? First of all, I know we've been chatting for a while.
I know, we've been chatting for ages, and I'm just apologising to everyone now because I'm having a super duper new rabbit run built, and the builders are walking backwards and forwards. So if I have to keep muting, it's because my dogs don't like all the wood being carried by the builder. So, but it's very exciting. My rabbits are really excited. So I'm really good. And I wanted to say, I saw your giveaway and I love it. And I'm going to be doing a weekly live channel update on my channel each week. And each week I'm going to be giving something away. Why? Because I really, or perhaps we'll do it, or perhaps we can discuss, because we might do it on our coffee chats. That might be a really good bit to do it as our coffee chats. And the reason I really wanted to do it is because just before this video, I was just speaking to some amazing ASEA clients in Canada, and this is transforming lives in so many different ways. It's transforming lives, obviously, on the health side of things. And I'm not just talking about humans. So many of the people that work with me are working with their animals with ASEA. It's transforming human and animals' lives, but it's also something that you and I are so passionate about, Brice. It's transforming people's financial situation as well, because the people that are working on things like this or other similar ways where they're finding to step out of the matrix, stop being beholden from anyone that's controlling their income source, and taking back that power themselves. And what that does to each and every one of us when we do this is completely immeasurable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been amazing and it's been a godsend. I mean, the wheels of justice do turn slowly, and I've had my money stolen. We all know that. The FBI has that. I have all the proof of where that is, but unfortunately, it's not in the United States. So I've been told if this was happening in the United States, it would have already been taken care of. But because it's in another country, the wheels of justice run slowly. But they are turning, so that's a good thing. But because of that, it's been a struggle, and I've been really praying and journaling about it. And then all of a sudden, Catherine introduced me to this, and I met Jay, and I researched the product. And I always remember when I was at university, one of my professors said, talking about, I can't even remember what class it was in. I just remember what was said. It was probably a psychology class or something, where he said, people always say that used car salesmen are good actors, but they're not, because they're lying.
Mm.
And I've always remembered that. And I know for me, I can only sell something if I actually believe in it. If it's something I've
100%.
actually done, like that's why I'm with yoga. Like I've been doing yoga for 17 years. It works. And this is Sia. I text Catherine because the physical body, even though the physical body is not the soul, it's not the soul, but it is the expression of the soul.
Mhm.
And as spiritual people, are being souls, when we come into our bodies, we're given this incredible opportunity to experience the friction that the body offers. And with that comes the cells, the DNA, the nervous system, all these kind of things, that we have to go through as human beings that elicit an emotional response from us. And so part of spirituality, like I know this might sound really mean, but I'm just going to say it. I don't go to healers who are massively overweight because
Absolutely.
they're not taking care of themselves. And if they can't take care of themselves, and that includes like divinators, that includes tarot card, all that kind of stuff. If you can't take care of yourself, then how good is your spirit at that point, you know? And I know that might sound mean, but after 17 years, I hold my healers and my teachers and my people at a very high standard because and so I wanted to talk to Catherine today and really talk about like what redox is. We know like and Catherine yourself, you are a biologist by trade. And so we've talked a lot about the redox being like the signaling service between the cells so that the cells can communicate to restore and rebuild the body. Can we go a little bit deeper into that and then talk about like how that translates into spirituality as well?
Yeah, I so love to. And before I'm just putting it out there, remind me to then lead on to the consciousness and the different 5 conscious bodies, because my beautiful friend Namala, who's a sacred geometrist expert and works with all sorts of quantum tools, we sort of explain. I've got a video going up with her in a couple of days, and it's beautiful. But also all of our physical body and our different bodies of consciousness are all linked. But let's get down to the biology of it at the moment. So basically, most people have heard of antioxidants. You know, antioxidants have been really big in people who are health conscious for a long while in terms of there's sort of misexplained about taking down inflammation, but inflammation is a really important part of the body's healing process. So what
Yeah.
we're really talking about is inappropriate inflammation that has been switched on, and then because the body's out of balance, can't switch off again. Now, within every living cell, whether it's a plant, whether it's an animal, whether it's a human, we have these things called reductant and oxygens, molecules that are basically keeping the cell functioning, keeping the mitochondria functioning, keeping the energy exchange, allowing the cells to take in the nutrients through the cell walls and get the waste products out through the cell walls. So this, having a healthy cell at an individual level, I would have shown you my apple, but I ate it. So I did bring the apple out here to explain it, but I couldn't resist eating it. So sorry. So I'll use my hands. But
Should I go get an apple out of my refrigerator quickly?
oh yeah, get one. Go
Keep
get one.
talking. I'll go get
Yeah.
one. I'll go get
So
an apple.
whilst Brice gets an apple, because mine's miles away down the garden. When a cell's healthy, it has a lovely, smooth, round, plump skin like a nice round apple. And what happens is if a cell's unhealthy, there's something wrong, it's very old, it's got toxins in it, it's not getting the nutrients it needs. So Brice, I was saying a lovely healthy apple like that is plump, it's well hydrated, it's got a lovely tight smooth skin. And if you imagine that apple is one of our cells, when it's working optimally like that, because the skin has got all the receptors in the skin like little pores which take the nutrients into the cell and the waste products out of the cell. But if the inside of that apple isn't full of these reductants and oxygens working properly, it will shrivel up like a really old apple. And when it shrivels up, if you imagine the skin shrivels and dehydrates, and that blocks the pores, it blocks the receptors on the cell membrane. So the waste products can no longer get out of the cell and the nutrients can't get in. So it gets even more shriveled up and you get into that vicious circle of decay and non-healing. So what happens with these redox molecules in this blue bottle here, it's absolutely magic. The science of redox is huge. If you look up on PubMed, you could spend the next year and never get through reading all about reductants and oxidants. Taking it back to the antioxidants, they're stopping talking about antioxidants now and changing it to redox, because that's what we're really talking about, bringing the body back into balance. So what the ASEA is doing at an individual cell level, it's basically rehydrating it like a nice young ripe apple, making so that that can then be working optimally to take the nutrients in, gateway to the waste products, so everything's working great. When that cell's working great, it can then communicate effectively with the other cells. So if you imagine your liver's made up of liver cells, but that liver had to work optimally, not only have the liver cells got to communicate with each other, but they've also got to communicate with the other areas of the body so everything can work in harmony. So this is why the longer you're on the redox, the better the results will just get better and better and better. Because what our bodies do is they mend at a cellular level where it needs it most. So humans are very arrogant. We often think that we know best and we can override nature, but our bodies have an innate ability to heal and know what needs doing. All we've got to do is get out of the way. So the beauty is when you're using the ASEA, the redox molecules, you can intellectually stop worrying about how to heal your body, where it needs healing, and just let this do the job. And your body will take it where it needs most to have the best effects. And then as it gets all the cells healing, if you imagine a shriveled up apple like this compared to yours, hold yours up, Brice. You know, if you've got loads of these in a row, I'll put mine over by, oh, I can't.
Oh, we did it. Yeah.
How hysterical. But if you imagine a shriveled up apple, there's no connection there anymore because everything's shrunk away and it's not working properly. Lovely ripe apples are like lovely plump blood cells where everything's hydrated and flowing beautifully. And just like your mobile phone won't work if you haven't got the cell towers connecting the signal and sending the signal to your phone, your cells can't work properly. Your body can't body. We talk about heart-brain coherence. So not only on the physical level can things not work, but also on an energetic level, you need to be connected. And this SEA is connecting physically and energetically. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yeah. And I will say too, when your body is hurting and aching and in pain, obviously you need to do the work to figure out what's going on because that's your body telling you something isn't right, right? But if it's consistent,
Mm.
sometimes I think what happens is we get so used to it that we don't realize it's there. But what's happening subconsciously is it's altering our behavior, it's altering our relationship with the divine, it's altering our trust.
Yeah.
And so and that's a very like fundamental element of spirituality is getting, I mean, that's why in the Ashtanga system, the primary series is Yoga Chikitsa or physical therapy. Because if your body is not healthy, even though you can learn things from very spiritually learn things from sickness, if it's consistently bothering you, it will mess with your mind and your perception of reality as well. And I've said this before. My first, and it's so funny, I just got a whole new shipment in last night. So it was here I opened it this morning, and I didn't even realize that it comes with this little pamphlet where you can start to mark where you're seeing improvements in energy, sleep, digestive, stress, mood. So that's the first thing I
We
noticed.
don't get that in the UK with ours. That's brilliant. We've got one I send out to people online, but yeah, that's lovely.
Oh, this is the first time I noticed it. Well, listen, the 3 days. So I'm relatively. I mean, I have arthritis, and I'll talk about that. I have there are little things that we all have, like our bodies are constantly shifting and changing. And I have anxiety. Well, I've known for a while now because of my study into Eastern medicine and natural homeopathy and our Ayurvedic stuff that arthritis is a side effect of anxiety. Like
Absolutely.
that's and it makes sense with the dosha vata, like the dryness, the overthinking, the air, the stimulation. But there were times in my life where my arthritis got so bad that even in knowing that, I have gone and gotten medication before from the doctor just to be able to function. Well, I went on. I've been off medication for many, many, many years now, and it got better with the lockdown and stuff. It started but occasionally I'd still have some like inflammation in my wrists and stuff. Well, the first thing I noticed with the ASEA, like 3 days in, was all of a sudden I was like super calm,
Mm.
like super mellow. And when you've spent most of your life with an anxiety disorder, you don't really know what being mellow feels like. It reminded me of like the first time I had EMDR therapy, like the day after I had EMDR therapy, my first session. I remember I was teaching a class and I was like, "Whoa, is this how everybody else feels?" Because this I feel really calm right now. And so I had just completely forgotten what it felt to feel that way. And so I thought how interesting and how amazing your body, we study this and we talk about this in yoga. Your body is far more intelligent than your mind.
Absolutely.
Far. And so what started happening, I realized, is that I would put the redox in my system and I would allow my body just to say, okay, well, we're going to take this where it needs to go. And where did it take it? It didn't take it to my wrist or my knees or my hips. It took it to my brain.
Mm.
That's where it took it because that's the source of the problem. Everything else is just a symptom. And so basically, what you're doing, it comes with this nice little shot glass, this 2 ounce. Do you guys use ounces in the
Yeah,
UK?
well, two ounces or 60 mils. So the measurements are on it. So you can do it in mils or ounces,
Yeah, I
whichever.
was about to say for my Australian English and Canadian, or I don't know if Canada does. I think Canada might do what we do, but in it, 2 ounces for us. So like 8 ounces a day is what I do. They say four minimum. Most people do four, and you just pour a bottle of water from this. It's you pour it, and now, Catherine, what is the significance of swishing it around your mouth for 30 to 60 seconds before swallowing?
Yeah, it's really, really important because basically in our mouth, the mucous membranes are full of little receptors that then will take stuff absorbed through the mucous membranes straight into the bloodstream. So if you just swallow it straight away, it will go straight into the stomach and hit the stomach acid. So yes, it will work, but it won't be anywhere near as effective because some's been absorbed as it goes down your esophagus. But when you swill it round your mouth, but so much has been absorbed straight through the mucous membranes into your bloodstream, so it gets where your body needs it a lot quicker. You do not need to worry if you've got fillings in your mouth and things like that, because even though it interacts with metal, so you can't take it in a metal cup or use metal utensils, just swilling it round for 30 to 60 seconds is fine. And then you swallow it, and then you're just getting maximum benefit out of it. Now, with our dogs and things like that, we can't ask them to sit there and swill it round, so they do take it straight down. But obviously dogs have got huge tongues compared to humans, so they're absorbing a lot in through their mouths anyway. So it will work either way, but it just means you get better value for money effectively, because you get more absorption, so less will have a better effect.
I mean, it's been such I have way more energy now. I was laughing with Catherine. I got my period last night, so I was like, "Damn it, it came at night." I was all cramping all night, and so what I'll do today, since I mean cramps, they once a month we deal with this, but today I'll probably take 12 ounces of
Mm,
the ASEA just to kind of help my body cope with what is, and with the swelling with the period, you talk about inflammation. Yeah, I think sometimes it's a little bloating with the period. It's necessary for it to then detox everything out. Now, Catherine, I had a question, and I'm going to be doing a roundtable tomorrow with a bunch of, Angie might join us, but there's going to be a lot of guys on the roundtable. So I thought this question came through, and it was from a woman, and I thought, well, let me talk to Catherine because she's A, is a biologist, and B, she's a woman because we know what that means. We know the definition of that word over here. And
yeah.
this person was asking about hot flashes and if ASEA helps with hot flashes. And we spoke about this a little off air, and I kind of agreed with what you were saying, because even though I have not gone into menopause, I know you haven't gone into menopause, Catherine. I know even with your cycles, technically, I know from the Chinese medicine I've studied that we aren't really supposed to have as big of a reaction to this
Yeah.
as we do. It's for me, it's every other month. I might have a bad period, like, so obviously one ovary versus the other ovary, and I know that when I follow my exercise plan properly, my eating plan properly, my cramps aren't as intense
Mm.
as they are if I don't follow that. So let's talk a little bit about hot flashes and reproductive stuff with the ASEA. What would your advice be to somebody who's struggling with hot flashes and menopause, and how can the ASEA help, or will it help?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, it absolutely does, because hormones control virtually every aspect of our personality and our physical function. That's why I'm so passionate about talking about not getting your dogs neutered and spayed and things like that. If you have a choice, not talking about rescue dogs, I'm talking about ones in a responsible home. But let's get back to humans. So the thing is, as humans, we are not meant to suffer as much with our monthly cycles or going through the menopause. The reason we do is because of all the stresses and toxins in our lives. So a lot of people will pass through the menopause with no symptoms at all. They don't even know they've had it. And other people will have horrendous symptoms, and there's no shame either way. So this isn't ever a criticism. But as you just said, your body is always giving you clues when it's out of balance. So the thing is, if you are suffering with hot flushes, with any other menopausal symptoms, What the ASEA does is it brings your body back into balance. Now, your hormones are meant to change on a cycle, not only on a monthly cycle, but also over time. So there's a reason why we go through the menopause, because there's a reason why we reach a certain age and we're not meant to breed anymore. You know, we're moving into a different stage of our lives. So what the ASEA does is it basically brings your hormones back into balance, really helps your body to do that at whatever stage of lifestyle you are in, which means that it will lessen. And there's lots of testimonials about people who've had amazing results with that. And so what we're always looking for is bringing your body back into balance. So it's not going to reverse the menopause, because you don't want to reverse. The menopause is a completely natural part of being a woman. But what it's going to do is mean that your body should go through it a lot easier. And your hormone function is also very, very linked to your liver function and any toxic overload in your body. So the liver has a big role. I mean, hormone function is complex, you know, your adrenals, your thyroids, just about everything, and very linked to your detoxing. Is your body detoxing as it's meant to? Are all your elimination channels working? Every single person living in a Western style lifestyle is going to have some problems with their elimination channels. So what ASEA is doing is it's helping clear all those as well, and making sure that we're removing the blockages that might be causing those hormonal imbalances in the first place. So every time when you're thinking about ASEA and you're thinking, gosh, this is so complicated, it's actually really, really simple. Just like we say, how do you know what's a good diet? Well, does it look like food or does it not?
Yeah.
You know, would your grandmother eat it or would they not? That simple. With the ASEA, you're basically saying, you're just remembering it's getting your body back to working how it should do. So if your hormone imbalances are caused by toxicity, it will help with that. If they're caused by your elimination channels being blocked, it will help that. If it's caused by your liver function or one ovary or things like that not working properly, it will help with that. Your body will take it where it needs to, and it will just get better and better. So absolutely do. And I've also seen results with dogs as well, having things like phantom pregnancies, because again, that's another indication of a problem where the body is out of balance. So I've just spent this morning doing iridology consults because I'm an animal iridologist. So I've been speaking to an amazing animal iridologist in Germany. And the beauty, and this ties into the doshas, Brice, is all of us have inherited strengths and weaknesses. I think most people have heard of epigenetics, but whether those are expressed or not depend on your environment. And this is what ASEA is doing, is it's getting the internal environment of the cells and the blood and the interstitial fluids back to what it should be. So there's not a condition that it won't help with. How quickly it helps with will depend on lots of things, like how long the challenge has been going on, how much the cause of the challenge is still affecting you. So, you know, this isn't a substitute for eating a healthy diet. You know, you can't think, oh, I'm going to carry on eating horrible processed food, just take ASEA and everything's going to be okay. But what you'll find is as you start getting your body back into balance, you won't want to eat that food anymore. You'll make different choices because your body will be giving you different signals that help you make better choices. So it's just a win-win-win situation.
And that kind of bleeds into the spirituality too, because once you start to
Yeah,
feel better, there could be something stressful going on that if you're feeling good inside yourself, you tend to have a stronger faith in the divine, in yourself. And I'm glad you brought that up, Catherine, because they say you can't outrun a bad diet. Like you can't,
yeah,
health is like, 90% in the kitchen. It really is. And as you're saying this, as the it's like everything we study in yoga is backing what the ASEA is saying as well. It's like, these are tools to help you be at your optimum success. It's like, yeah, the elimination process. That's why it's also important to sweat every day, because that's part
yeah,
of the body eliminating. When you're practicing yoga, that's why you twist right first and then left, because that's opening up the ascending colon. If you twist left first, then right, you might be constipated. There's some things that you can do to work with the body to help the body be at its optimum as where it is. And I'm glad you're talking about where it is in your stage of life. And even in traditional yoga we practice for women, we practice what is called ladies holiday. And this is, you don't practice or exercise the first 2 to 3 days of your cycle because you're honoring the aponic detox. Like this morning, I was telling Catherine because I got my period, instead of doing my practice, I cleaned the bathroom,
Yeah.
like to allow the body to flush so it's not interrupted by the pranic or upward rising energy. And for people who are struggling with your period or menopause, I would say look at that as well. Like, are you exercising really hard over your cycle? Because that's confusing your body. A lot of exercise is pulling up energy into the body, and that pranic, that's the cardiovascular, the pumping of blood. Whereas in the process of your uterus contracting and having your period, your body's trying to push energy down, right? And so to allow it to kind of have a moment's reprise, to like, in India, like my teacher in India sends his wife to the spa over her period. I've tried that here in the United States, doesn't go over that well. But so it's not like a red tent, like you're dirty. No, it's like actually honoring the body and allowing it. And when I started to really honor that aspect of traditional yoga, my body responded very positively. And my cycle is only like 3 days now, and I only get cramps like the first day. That's it. So your body starts to work with you in a very positive way. And so it's honoring where you are in this sea. And I would tell Catherine, I was saying this, my hair is growing out of control at this point.
Oh,
And
so is mine. I mean, I'm constantly fiddling with my hair at the moment because it is literally just ridiculous. My pony, Romeo, his tail and mane grow ridiculously, and my hair and my nails as well.
yeah, my nails too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just,
I was like, I just got my hair cut like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I'm gonna have to get my hair cut again because it is, and my hair's always been thicker, but it feels fuller. It feels like it did. And I remember when I was a little girl, it's the only copper trait I have is really thick hair. I got it from my dad, real thick hair. When I was a little girl, my mother would have to, I had real long hair. My mother would have to come and condition my hair in the bath and then braid it with the conditioner in it, and I would get out with the conditioner in the hair braided so that she could actually brush through it without me screaming because
yeah.
it was so thick. And I know it thins out as we get older anyway, but it's getting back to that stage. And I will say, now Catherine knows my boyfriend. She's met him off air, and he is in his 50s, and he's getting that, where he's getting a little bit of a bald spot. It happens. And he was very skeptical of ASEA. I'll be honest with you guys, when we first started doing it, he was like, I'm kind of skeptical because he's tried everything. He's been a raw vegan, and he's a chef, and and listen, he was like, and I'm not going to read any of the reviews. I'm not going to read any of the reviews. I'm just going to like try it. I'm very skeptical of it. He's doing the liquid. He's drinking the liquid. He put the liquid in a spray bottle as well. And my boyfriend's the type that won't use any type of like soaps or shampoos if they're not all natural. You know, um, he hates having a microwave. He's very, very funny about that kind of stuff. So he sprays ASEA on his head, and then he puts the gel on his hair, on his scalp, and the serum, which I don't have it, but there's serum you can get as well. And a few days ago, I don't know if I told you, Catherine, a few days ago, he ran in here with like a little kid. He was like, Brice, look. And he has a line of what looks like baby hair. It's prickly, starting to, I kid you not. So he took his head, I took a picture of it, and in a month's time we're going to take another photo of it. And I've only known him with this little balding. I didn't know him when he was younger. And he has very thick hair, or had very thick hair as well. And he's like, I kid you not, he's been on the phone talking to Jay about it because Jay had kept telling him it was going to happen. And it just shows you that all these things we think are supposed to happen, we can actually allow. The body wants to be healthy. The body wants to be, and I remember as a kid, my dad and my family members who are in the medical world, whenever they would check our nails, like as a kid, we would go like for Christmas and
Absolutely.
check. I never knew what they were doing. My mom, and they were like, "Oh, we're just checking." They would look at our nails to see how healthy we were, because that's a sure sign of somebody's overall health.
I
And
love it. I really love it. And it's so great because also for me, I'm a natural warrior, and like the fact that I can do it, like I think I've put some things on my thing about Lola, her one of my dogs hurt her back, and so I give them the ASEA every time they come back from their walk and everything. And then what it does is it takes a lot of stress out of me. And people, because I know that I'm just giving her body exactly what it needs. And the other thing that I really love, and a lot of people ask, well, will it do this? Well, it is very anti-aging. It makes the cells act as if they're younger, but it won't, you know, you're not going to reverse back out of puberty, for example, because it's all appropriate to how your body should. It's all about bringing your body back in balance. So when we talk about anti-inflammatories, you don't want to reduce every bit of inflammation. You want healthy inflammation, because, you know, that's what triggers a lot of the healing response. But what it does is it stops that getting to an unhealthy level or takes it back down. Now, obviously, we're not allowed to make any medical claims or anything. So all we really need to know is that it's going to bring your body back into balance, bring your mind back into balance. And the best advice I've got for people is, for once in our life, fill out the health tracker form, whether it's online or now you get them in America. That's amazing.
You might have inspired this, Catherine, for all I know. You might have been the inspiration, because I
No,
don't know.
I mean, I think that's wonderful, because I think when people do it, you are going to notice really surprising things that you hadn't even thought of. So I spoke about on my journey, I would never say I have a sleep problem or a sleep disorder, because my sleep issue is purely caused by unhealthy work habits, because I tend to work very late at night, work on the computer, because I love my work so much. I'm quite excited by the time I finish it. I want to discuss things. So therefore, I'm just not getting the sleep that I need. But when I started taking the ASEA, I was just suddenly sleeping so much deeper. And most of us mums know what it's like. Once you've had children, you can be a very light sleeper because you're so used to waking up for the baby. And quite often that doesn't go. And now my sleep is really good. But I would never have said to someone, I want to take ASEA because I've got a sleep problem, because I didn't identify as having a sleep problem. Don't you like that? Identify as having. But
We can play the same too. Yeah.
play it. But then when I started taking it, I was thinking, God, I'm sleeping really well. I was like, oh my God, actually, I really wasn't sleeping well. So you'll notice all these things that you didn't notice. And it's just such a joy. And you'll also find you'll notice things in each other. If there's a couple of you in the household taking it, or, you know, the people, you'll notice. If one of my clients phoned me up the other day, and she'd been really, it was hysterical, quite skeptical. And she'd just been starting with the Renu28, the gel, which is amazing for your face, and the serum's even more concentrated view of it. Anyway, she made me laugh really much, because she was quite skeptical, this woman, and she'd been saying to me, it's not making any difference, Catherine. And she phoned me up. She said, you'll never guess what. She said, I went out and met one of my friends that I haven't seen for months for coffee, for a morning coffee. And then she said she went to the hairdressers that she hadn't been to for 6 weeks in the afternoon. And she hadn't told anyone she was doing anything different. And she sat down, and first thing her friend said to her is, what have you been doing? You look completely different. And she was like, because she hadn't noticed herself, because it's gradual. Anyway, she thought, oh, you know, well, you know, and she wasn't, she was pleased, but she wasn't quite sure her friend was being fine. Goes to the hairdressers in the afternoon, sits down at the hairdressers, and the lady said, what have you done to your hair? It's just grown so much more. And what have you done to your face? Have you got different makeup on or something? So 2 in one day. So she came back and she laughed. She said, Catherine, you know, I was on the phone to you last week saying I don't feel any different. Well, everyone else is noticing I'm different.
Yeah. I will say too, it with personalities. I've noticed my boyfriend's been more playful.
Yeah.
And that could be because we're bringing a lot more money to it.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know, like he's lost weight. Now, he wasn't overweight to begin with, but he's a lover of food because he's a chef, he's a lover of food. And he even said, he was like, my appetite's kind of gone. And I thought that was interesting, because maybe that shows you where I think sometimes we eat because we're bored or emotional, but maybe the body is trying to get something to fix something and it can't. But when it's getting the redox, it's able to kind of like pull back and say, okay, now I have what I need. My dog, he has his water bowl that's in a metal bowl, but then he has a glass bowl that we've been putting the ASEA in. Robbie comes and asks for it. He knows the ASEA bowl for the ASEA, and so it's quite amazing. And I want to say too, this cannot hurt you. I've had that question a lot from people. It cannot. All the ingredients in it are literally like salt and water, and then there's I don't know how. I'm not a scientist, but how that happens to create the redox. But you guys, it can't hurt you. There's nothing about this. If you take too much, you're just gonna pee it out. Like nothing.
And you can't be allergic, and it can't interfere with any medication that you're on. But let me just cover about how it's made. So for people that want to know why it's not just salt water, just reach out to Brice and we'll send you the video that explains it all, because it's been too long to go into here. But all of that information out there, how it's not just salt water, how it you know, how it's made, how it's quality controlled, and it's just fantastic. There's all that information there. No one's keeping anything quiet. It's just, you all know, on certain platforms you can't divulge certain information. But let's talk about the finances side of things, Brice, because there's a really, like you were saying about your boyfriend, it's a really important point, because financial stress is a big stressor for a lot of people. So you could be doing all the right health things, really getting your exercise regime on point and everything, but if you've got that financial stress hanging over you, or you're employed by someone else that might be enforcing certain things on you. I mean, I was speaking to someone in Canada today, and they're still talking about mandates for certain things. Unbelievable. So that's a big stress, and don't underestimate the power of taking back some control of your finances, and how that will just free that stress off your shoulders.
Yeah, I will say, and my boyfriend does really well with his job. He does, but I think what was happening too is it was hurting him to see me so hurt, and to see how hard I work and how everything I've gone through. Catherine, we talk. I don't say half of the stuff we've gone through, and have to work so hard, and to have everything just taken from me because I trusted the wrong people. And so I think the fact that now I'm able to fully take back my financial we all listen. To think anybody deserves to be in poverty is wrong. We all deserve to have the right to make money. Now, no one's. Kathy and I were talking about this off camera. I don't believe anybody's going to come around and offer you a $1 million check. And if they do, I'd be very skeptical, because nothing in life comes for free. If you allow someone to take care of you, you allow someone to control you. But with this, because this product is so great, because the way they've set it up, I can make money off of, I can be a part of the company and make kickback off of the product sold. And I believe in the product. So not only when people order the product is it, as I know it's going to help their health, but it also gives me an incentive as well. And so you too can be a part of this. And I also just want to pull the website up again. And I know the website is not very user friendly. We laugh about that because the product's so great, but the website's a little wonky. And that's why there's a number down in the description box below where you can just text that number, and Jay or Hillis, somebody will get a hold of you and help you figure out what you want to do. If you just want the product and you don't want to be involved in the business, that's fine too. That's absolutely understandable. But if you do want to like get kickback, then that's another option. Or, so there's tons of products here. Like, of course, the ASEA Redox supplement. This is like the main thing, right? This is the main shebang, is the liquid. But then you have, we have the skincare line, which I've started with and it's funny because I think the Renew gel here's the serum right here, guys. So I think that the Renew gel is just almost just as important as the liquid at this point. I've been putting it on my life.
Definitely.
I've said on my show, and I'll say it again. People thought I just got a text from Angie about it. And I've never had children, you guys, so my boobs have never been feeding troughs for, as my sister used to say, I'm just the McDonald's, they just pull up through. But I've never had that because I've never had a baby, so I've never been a walking McDonald's for a child. But I am 40. And so, and I have size D cups, so they're not small, and I do have stretch marks. And I thought I'm just gonna try this. So I started to put the Renu28 on my boobs. And it's working. It's making them like go back to like, what was that funny video where she was like 28,
Yeah.
30. Like it's making them so which of course makes your partner happy when so and of course I have a ton of the sample tubes. I'm actually, whoever wins the skincare, I'm going to throw a couple of the sample tubes in there as well. And I'm actually ordered some. I don't know if you've done any of these, Catherine. I ordered some of
Yeah,
these.
I don't, because I've been working for so long in healthcare. I've got other things I use for that. So it's not that I don't like them, but I have my own other products I use for that. But what I do like, if you scroll up again, I really like the Cell Performance range. So I really, really like those. And I must say, the mood one, I mean, I don't suffer from anxiety, but I'm a natural worrier. I'm a natural rescuer. I've got all my rescue animals. I've got my children, and I can be an overthinker. And the mood one for me is just phenomenal. The only way I can describe it is the only few times I've had hypnotherapy, like you were saying about your therapy. When I've had hypnotherapy, just afterwards, for a few days afterwards, nothing could phase me. I didn't go into worrying mode. I didn't go into my over planning mode. I was just zen, not spaced out, just chilled, and everything was fun and everything. And this is how I feel when I take the mood. So my family will know when I've taken a mood, even when they don't see me, because I'll just be much more chilled.
You're like slipping it into your coffee, into your
They
water.
will be,
I'm gonna have to
absolutely.
try this next. Yeah, because
The
we did.
energy one's really good as well. The mind one I haven't really tried so much because I gave my mind to someone else that really needed it. Yeah, that sounds weird, but gave my box of mine to someone else because I had a friend that has real concentration issues. So I gave her my box of mine. So I'll get some feedback from her on that.
Imagine that could be a subtle hint if you got this for someone for their birthday or
Yes.
Christmas.
This is what I love because they're little paper pouches. You can just carry it with you and just put it in your water. It's absolutely fantastic. It's so easy. Yeah, so there's so much in there for everyone depending what you want, and they make great gifts. So I've given loads of people, for me, a lot of people either get some of the skincare range or the Renu28 as a gift, or I give my flask of water, but structured water bottles and things. So, you know, giving people practical healthy gifts. And also for those people that say, you know, that this is out of their price range, well, if that is, you know, there's different ways you could do about it. If it's something you really want, then find out how you can earn enough money by sharing your link so that you can get your products for free. And if not, there's so many other things we can be doing to help ourselves. You know, Brice and I talk about these the whole time, about breathing, about meditation, about exercise, about cooking healthily from scratch, etc., about reading, about who you're listening to. There's all these things that can be free. So, you know, what's meant to be for each of us will be. But I'm really, really proud to not only be doing what I've been doing for years, which is helping other people help themselves by providing different tools that they have the choice whether to use or not. And also the fact that then that can make a huge difference to me, because by the money that I earn from ASEA, it runs my whole animal rescue centre.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I don't need to put adverts now on YouTube anymore, because we don't have any choice. If people monetize on YouTube, YouTube put whatever ads they want on there, or so does any other platform, not I mean any social media platform. And I'd much rather be talking about things that I passionately believe in and I know then help than take lucky draw, because you can guarantee that what they're going to be showing is probably not aligned with your values.
Oh, absolutely not. I've had people comment about that about my commercials. I'm like, I don't pick the commercials. I don't. That's YouTube does that. And I will say you're right, Catherine. Like I know tomorrow and Saturday, I have two huge shipments. I mean, we were just laughing about where we're going to put everything coming in. So you can, if money is an issue for you at this moment, you can talk to Jay or Hillis by texting the number and tell them that and see what you can do to get it at a wholesale price, or get the points to be able to get free products every month. I mean, that's why, you guys, that's why I'm doing giveaways, is because I have so much free product coming in that I'm going to give some stuff away, because it's literally so much is available at this point. And I will say, one of the things, I can't remember which one it is, I'll have to wait until I get the box, but one of the things I'm going to be giving away is one of these. I think it might be the Source that I'm getting extra of. The one I'm not going to be doing is at the Omega, because I'm a vegetarian. So
Yeah.
there's one my boyfriend he's going to try this because he does have fish in his diet, but he's a chef, so he's going to try this, but I'm not going to be trying this because I am a vegetarian. But all the other products are vegetarian friendly, so I'm going to be trying all the other products as well. And I think it's the Source. I think I might be mistaken, guys, but I think this is the one I'm also going to be, which maybe I'll have it by next week, maybe Catherine on our next coffee chat.
Yeah, absolutely. We can go through that. And with the points, again, it opens up choices, because with the points I earn through my monthly subscription and through sharing my link with others, I'm able to fund my mother and my friend that had a stroke that can't buy the products themselves, and I can use those points to send free gifts to them every month of it. Nothing makes me happy. I can also use those for get stuff for my animals. So this is the thing. It's like these things are an enabler, and I am very picky where I spend my money now. I spend my money on companies that I trust and I support, because I'm a very strong believer, and I know you are too, Brice, that every action, you know, it's our actions that count to create the world that we want to see. And I want to see a world where people can take back the power for all aspects of their life. So that's what I'm choosing to spend my time, my energy, and my money on.
Same. And I will say, you guys, getting to know Jay as well as I have during this process, he and April are very spiritual, but they're also very spiritual with finances too. And I've learned a lot from him. I've just taught and talking to him where my faulty thinking was, and that no, abundance is available. And so honestly, guys, like if you like, I really want to try this product, just talk to Jay and just be really honest with him, and he'll listen, and Jay can help you and can talk you through what might be best for you. Don't discount anything right away. Knowledge is power, and knowledge protects. And so it's you know, they're awesome, and I think that's what the from all the videos I've watched, and I'll link ASEA's YouTube channel in the description box below as well for you guys. But that's kind of what I feel like the founder wanted to do, was to help people not only health wise, but also allow people to take sovereign power over their finances as well, you know. And that's something that I am truly grateful for. And I thank you, Catherine. I'm grateful that you told me to pay attention to this, because
It's fun because it's, again, look at the team we're working with. So I work really closely with Jay and April as well. Hillis is who you've had on your channel. He's coming on mine soon. Is the most amazing, because it's not an accident who gets attracted to products like this. And look at how much. So we've all got our own independent businesses, but we're all really helping each other out because we want to, because we love it. Oh, you know, so it's a win-win-win situation. And Hillis is fantastic because he handles a lot of, and Jay handle a lot of our admin for us, because we all divide up tasks based on what we're good at, sort of thing. This is, again, part of the new community, is appreciating everyone's different gifts and saying together we all build each other's strengths, and they're
oh,
all good.
absolutely. Angie, my friend Angie just signed up to do it, and she's going to come on tomorrow, I think, for the round table. And I told her, I'll like, I'll help you out. Like, let's like, I'll help you get out there. And she's got all her boutiques all over Georgia for her pickles. And I was like, girl, you got a whole market out there that you can talk to with people. And I will say, so I know for our coffee chat next week, you guys. So again, I can't remember which of it that I'm gonna get. Again, I'll be getting this in this weekend. So what I'm gonna say for the giveaway next week from my channel, why don't you so for, I don't know if Catherine, if you want people to do something under your comment
Yeah,
section, but
I'll cover that in a minute. Yeah.
on my comment, so on Esoteric Atlanta's comment section, if you want to be entered into a raffle to win whichever one of these it is, I want you to put your name and put ASEA Via. Is that Via?
Yeah.
Via? Yeah, just put ASEA Via in by your name, and I will collect all those names before next Thursday, and I will draw names on the show with Catherine. Now, Catherine, do you want them to do the same on your channel
Yeah,
for another
so I
product?
think this is brilliant. Moving forward on our coffee chat, so this one will go on both of ours, and then moving forward, we'll be going back to how we normally do it: 1 week on Brice's channel, 1 week on mine, because we share a lot of listeners. So for this week on my channel, I'm going to be giving away one of the beauty sets, which is amazing. Absolutely beautiful. So again,
Okay, awesome. So you're doing, yeah,
so,
okay, cool.
yeah. So what I'd like you to do on my channel, Unreleased, you put ASEA and then you put skincare, and you must put your name on there, because then next week we will both, on whichever channel it's on, where we will be drawing it out. We collect the names, we do it all really fairly, and then we will connect one. And the only thing is, so ASEA luckily can ship to different countries. But what it will do is it will have to be, we'll make sure it gets to a country where they ship to. So you're going to put on my channel, you're going to put ASEA Skincare, and then I will connect all those names who's done that. And then we will make the draw, and each week we'll do a draw on our coffee chats. And we want to share this out. We want you to experience it. It's absolutely fantastic. They make the most beautiful gifts.
It's so awesome because I'm giving away a skincare on my channel from Monday, so that you got 2 opportunities to win. This is a high value ticket item, and I've been using it. And April, I'll put the video I did with April too down in the description box below about the skincare. She was saying how it lasts a while, and I was like, I don't know if it's gonna last that long. I've had it over a month now, and I'm not even like halfway through everything.
Exactly.
So it lasts a while. So I'm so excited because I said on my channel, if you go to Monday's video, guys, to learn how to enter from my channel, I said I can only ship this within the United States right now. So if you are somebody from Europe, there you've got our England, you've got an option now to go to Catherine's channel and be entered in for the drawing for the skincare from her as well. And I'm sure we'll be giving away more sets to come. So yeah, and that is because, you guys, like, ASEA did not ask us to do this, did they, Catherine?
This is all coming out of our funds because we want to pass it forward and share it and give you the opportunity to try it. And you know, this is such a good example of what we've both done. Is we've really, you know, looked at, we've done our journaling, we've put the message out to the universe, we've really put the action steps in. We're loving doing it. You know, it's so lovely to be able to talk to friends about it and really share your passion, because if there's anything we've all learnt over the last few years is you know, when you talk about and you really engage and spend your time and put your energy where your passions are, then everything starts falling into place. And we want this for each and every one of us that's watching it, whatever that is for you. You know, we're just sharing what works for us. You will have your own unique passions where you want to put your energy. And when you start following that energy, just watch the shifts that start to happen in your life.
And I agree with you, Catherine. I don't know if I made that clear on Mondays. This is coming from us. This is not coming from ASEA. This is directly coming from Catherine and myself, because we want to give back. We want to share in the abundance. We want to share. I love hearing I'll tell you a quick funny story. When I was a little kid, probably middle school, high school, we had this magazine that would come out once a month called Fitness Magazine. I always wanted to buy it as a kid. I wasn't interested as a middle school or a high school about the exercise portions. I begged my mom to buy the magazine at the checkout at the grocery store every month because I liked reading the success stories of the people who lost weight. Honest to God, that was what so sorry, Mom, for spending that money just for one little article every month. But I didn't know who these people, they would write these like success stories, articles, and show their pictures before. And even as a 14, 15-year-old, I loved reading those success stories. And so I think I can speak the same for Catherine. I love to see people doing well. And I will say, you know, Catherine, I'm going to toot our horns here. We're the only 2 people really in this community that don't put any of our work behind a paywall.
Yeah,
because we want to share with you guys. And so and I thank you guys for supporting us and for continuing along on this journey. And I'm excited. I can't wait. This is going to be really fun. Like, I'm thinking
it's going to be really, really fun. Yeah, we really will. So we're going to be really sharing a lot in these coffee chats moving forward and sharing it with you. So let us know any ideas you've got. We love them.
Yes. All right, you guys. And I will also, of course, be putting all of Catherine's. I know everybody watching right now is subscribed to Catherine, but I'll put her links down there too, just by the off chance that you're not. So anyway, guys, we love you, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. And if you feel inspired, please do share with your friends and family. My goal is to inspire as many people as I can to live their best lives, to stay curious, and to raise their consciousness and that of the collective. So to do this, I need to reach as many people as possible, and this needs your help. If you feel drawn, would you be willing to share your favourite episode with 5 different people? This helps us spread the word and also helps me encourage some exciting new guests to take part in this podcast. If you feel drawn to do that, I will be very, very grateful. All the links and discount codes where applicable for all the products that I support are on my 2 websites, catherineedwards.life and catherineedwardsacademy.com. All of the products are personally tried and tested by me, my family, and my clients. And finally, please do press the follow or subscribe button, depending which platform you're listening on. And above all, stay curious and stay free.